the USAFL.
I'll take fullback. Okay. Alex C, back pocket. Okay.
Hey, boys. All right. Use your voice all day. Use your voice, okay? Swannaroos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Swannaroos.
Let's go, boys.
1, 2, 3, 3.
Strong in that quarter was fantastic.
Back here at the Onion Creek Soccer Complex in beautiful Austin, Texas. It's the live music capital of the world. And zooming in on Onion Creek Soccer Complex, the host of the USAFL Nationals for the 5th year. And we have a big Women's Division I matchup coming up. The grand finalists may be decided, will be decided here as the Golden Gate Iron Maidens take on the Denver Bulldogs / New York Magpies. Good day, everyone. I'm Brian Barish back here on Cooper's Field. Joining me in the commentary position for the first time this year from the Sacramento Suns and the newly elected Western Regional Vice President of the USAFL. It's a very good morning to Mackenzie Adamo. Good morning, Mac.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Here is the situation here as we come into this game with the Iron Maidens at 1-1, having defeated Seattle and then lost to Minnesota. Denver is 0-2, having lost to both of those teams yesterday. If the Iron Maidens win, they are in the grand final just about. The only thing that would throw it to percentage is if Seattle were to defeat Minnesota on the field behind us. Otherwise, the Iron Maidens are in. If they lose, they need to hope that Minnesota beats Seattle and throw it to percentage. Otherwise, Seattle is in and Golden Gate is out. There are a lot of permutations. There could be a three-way tie either way. But you know what, Mac? That's what's so great about this four-team division. All 6 games matter in determining who will be on to the grand final.
Absolutely. They all matter. You got to give your best effort, 100%.
And the Golden Gate Iron Maidens, just as a reminder, 7-time defending national champions. They did lose in the round-robin phase last year to the Minnesota Freeze before coming back and beating them in the grand final. And you have to think that the next 40 minutes, Mac, are going to be very important in terms of confidence. The Maidens are already a pretty confident bunch, playing over in Sacramento. But I think they need to kind of reestablish themselves as they go into, if they win, they'll be into the grand final against Minnesota.
Absolutely.
All is in readiness here. The Bulldogs, as we mentioned, with players from the New York Magpies, they're wearing the blue jumpers, and it appears they are headed towards the tournament central end, which is to our left. The Golden Gate Iron Maidens again wearing their Clash Pride jumpers in the white with the rainbow, headed towards Onion Creek. Cricket Temple, one of the New York players in the ruck against Panda Wynn. She wins the hit out. As the ball gets knocked forward, it's going to get picked up. Long handball back by Doherty. Madison Hillebrand is in there as well. As the ball gets knocked around, Denver looking for possession. We have our first whistle of the game, and it'll be a free kick going the way of the Maidens. Having the football now is Doherty, who sends this one down the ground off the hands there of Allie Dykes, one of a number of players on the USA Freedom National side. And here's Leo Gaillard, who played for the Canadian national team, going out of the reach of Leilani Cordoba. Going after it is Rita Hill, another Freedom player. A lot of USA national talent on this side as Vicky Powell goes after the ball. Ball is hugging the boundary line like a teddy bear, and it's tied up there for Christmas, and we'll have a ball up. Be interesting to see, but first, before we talk about that, we mentioned the number of Freedom players. A lot of talent out there, and women who showed a lot of really good talent at the Transatlantic Cup.
Absolutely. This is both teams have a lot of veteran experience, played together for a long time, and a lot of participants of the national program. So
here come the Bulldogs, and here's one player who has worn the red, white, and blue of the USA many times, Captain America, and Hallie Castanet comes out to the near side, drops in front, looking for Cassie Wilkerson, who picks it up. Another national team player dragged down from behind, and she is Gone gone. Carol Sequeira, who is just making sure she's okay, and it will be a free kick going back in the other direction. I said that was Cassie Wilkerson. I don't even think she's on the team. In fact, that was Janie Green of the New York Magpies, who won Division II, who won the Best and Fairest at Division II. it must be said, the New York Magpies contingent brings a fair bit of talent to this side. We mentioned Janie Green, Cricket Temple. Lucy McLeod is in there, which gives them a little bit of extra height. Here's an opportunity as this one is sent up on the way. It's just to the right, and it bounces through for the first score of the game. That's off the foot of Alvie Doherty, originally from Ireland, and the Gaelic influence as both of these teams actually play both Gaelic football and Aussie rules. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, it's the Maidens who draw first blood. They lead 1-0. Talk about that Gaelic influence. The sport, there's a lot of Irish women in AFLW. There's a few in the men's side, but the sports are so similar that it's an easy crossover and a good way to stay fit as well.
Absolutely. It's a big advantage for players and teams who have that at their disposal.
And in fact, I've mentioned a couple of times, we were talking to a couple of the newer players from Baton Rouge. They play Gaelic as well. And so that crossover very apparent, and they've absolutely loved it. This is Chelsea Blockland with the football, with a set shot from 40 meters out. Goes in front, bounces off of Cordoba's legs, and then down in front. As the ball pops up in the air, fighting with it is Kastanek. She taps the ball down to Dykes, who is there in support. Hildebrand is there putting the pressure on, and the ball will tumble out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw, and good result for the Maidens, who still lead 1-0. Boundary throw and upcoming. Ball comes back into play, gets knocked down there by Pandawin, and everybody is in there, locked up right in front.
Mad scramble to the footy.
Yeah, it's kind of a cagey opening to start here. It is the first game of the day as they try and get that one out. That was Shawneen McAleer. We talk about the Gaelic influence, another Irish player, as it's picked up, shuffled out, and there's Janie Green who gets it out of there. Green will go out to the far side, drop in front. There's Carol Sequeira, your former teammate with Sacramento. I don't know why I keep saying Seattle, as the ball gets knocked down. And it is a mark and a free kick. Good job by Sequeira to find the target. And I think we'll catch that. I think once again that's Blockland. She's 45 meters out. We'll talk about Carol Sequeira in just a moment. As she goes in, kicks on the left foot. It is in front. Mad scramble, and Rita Hill watches that one go through for another score. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, that takes Golden Gate on to 2 behinds. No score for Denver. We talk about crossovers. Carol Sequeira, who used to play for the Suns, is a rugby player and made the transition from that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another great sport to pull players from. We're getting a few more this season as well. Some really good rookie talent crossing over from rugby.
And I was going to say, there's a few players over the years. I think of Rosemary Cuoco, who's another player who played rugby. There's quite a few. I think, didn't Liz Danielson play rugby too as well?
Liz, yeah. Lorraine Cuoco as well. Yeah, a fair bit.
So free kick coming out the back now. Back right pocket for the Bulldogs. And that one is sent up the far side. It'll drop in front, getting paddled away. After it is Emma Bangs, the outgoing Central Regional Vice President, doing a fantastic job in her 2 years. Getting away, here's Blockland, left-footed kick on the way across the face. Did it sneak in? Nope, just went past the Dutchie on the left-hand side, and it is through for a minor score. Third score of the game for Golden Gate. They go into 3 behinds. No score for Denver as we come towards the midway part of this game. Again, Golden Gate in very good position, and we'll keep an eye on what's happening across the way with Seattle and Minnesota. Seattle has a outside chance. Denver, well, they would need to beat Golden Gate by something fierce, and they would need to also hope that that Seattle loses. It would be a 3-way tie, as there is a free kick and a good job of making the tackle there by the 23. Oh, that is Sarah Maguillon. Yep. Mags sends this one on the way. It is tailing right. A lot of people flew, and again, it is through for another score. Watch AFL scoreboard, Golden Gate 4, Denver nothing. And we'll tell you, of course, you see the clock there on screen did not start, so don't follow that as we get the ball out to the near side, as we've got a lot of stuff happening here in the production tent. Good mark by Cricket Temple. Temple's going to use her height and her strength, Matt, and I think that is very, but unfortunately she kicked right into the mark as Wynn was there. There's a pitchfork handball going out into the pocket. Picking that one out is Hannah Dawes. She sends that one in towards the sticks, blocked in front nicely by Hallie Kastanek. Slaloms through the defense, bangs it out to the near side where she finds Janie Green. And that's the experience of Kastanek there, Mac.
Yeah, a lot of great connections happening.
Ball goes to the ground once again. Handball up over. Here's Emma Bangs, who has the football over the top, looking for Lindsay Kastanek. As the ball gets taken down. Ball is now out in the middle of the ground now. It gets handballed back. Here again is Al Leonard, who sends this one forward. It'll roll. It'll skip. Martin is in there for Golden Gate. Here is Owen getting knocked down and clutching her knee. That is not good. I think let's see who that is in a moment. That is Lucy McLeod from the New York Magpies. She is in some trouble. And meanwhile, up on the far side, bouncing and having a look, going the other way is Leo Gaillard. We'll keep an eye on McLeod back in the other direction. And going back now, and now they have finally stopped the clock, and she went right for her knee, Mac, and that didn't look good.
No, that looked painful.
And I don't think it was a particularly awkward hit or anything else. Meanwhile, it looks like they are playing on as they are tending to her. If you don't mind keeping an eye on her, I'll watch the play.
Yep.
As the ball's up on the far side now, Gaillard slaloming through defenders and went for the handball, given off by Bangs.
Looks like they're getting McLeod off the field now. She's up.
She's up.
Shuffling off.
Yeah, she is not moving all that great, and hopefully she hasn't done her knee. And that would be a bit of a blow, not only for this game, but also for the Magpies this season, as the ball gets knocked down by Lindsay Kastanek. Ball gets sent up high in the air. Who wants it? Everybody. Juggling and taking the mark just in the field of play was the veteran Shea Solis. Was a soccer player, in addition, another sport where we see a lot of people come through. And this one is sent over and across. Over to get it, a one-on-one contest. And trying to get by Alice Houston there was Jess Fletcher, as opposed to Jess Blecker, who is not here this weekend. And a key out for the Iron Maidens. They have a couple of players who aren't in the lineup, but for very good reason. Jess Estrada Finley and Elise Leone, both expecting.
Oh.
The best way to recruit is internally, and they are both expecting new additions in March.
That's
but they are
exciting.
both here, and they are both supporting their team. And what we see Laz Dawes wearing Elise's number 11 in her honor, so that she can at least be out on the field, which is pretty cool.
That's really nice.
Mark is taken up on the far side now and sent on by Panda Wynn. Sent on the far side, going to be kept in play. Just goes into the middle, drops in front, bounces away, going to get picked up by Green, finds Dykes, goes in front, finding Kastanek, who presented well. Lindsay Kastanek stands in the right half forward flank for the Bulldogs, who trail 4-0, still looking for our first major score of the game in good but warming conditions. And going and just getting away from the defender there was Alexa Mashakis. Mashakis sends the ball up on the far side now, and it is marked defensively by Janie Green. Green's got to use using her speed to get to the ball, and she is showing what both the men and women are known for, and that is making themselves an option. Ball goes in front, and Martin, and it's going to be a free kick, and it'll go to Lindsay Kastanek once again.
This is definitely in her range. The wind's starting to pick up a bit.
And we've been keeping an eye. It's officially up at 9 miles an hour with gusts to 18, which is a little bit more than it was yesterday. Lindsay Kastanek's kick is up on the way. This is for the lead. The umpire says, yes, sirree, Bob. And Denver takes the lead here in round 3 of Women's Division I. Watch AFL scoreboard. It's the Denver Bulldogs, 1 straight 6. 4 behinds only for Golden Gate. You see the sustained pressure from Denver, and then all that happened is... And then all that happened, you see they got a couple of kicks the other way, Mac, and they kicked the goal.
Great connections up the field, and they took that mark where they needed it the most.
And we talk about momentum in some games. I mean, that really, it really, really hits, and that really is important as we come back into the middle of the ground once again. And we'll get for you in just a moment the games from the scores from yesterday as the ball is up on that far side. Trying to multitask, trying to bring the scores up as well as the ball gets sent in. Nice mark by Green. Green shows her opponent a clean set of heels. Good job by Hannah Dawes to try and close her down, and then conceding the behind there was Martin, as she had Caitlin Masher-Mace on her hammer. That gives up the behind. A very smart play by Martin. In a game where scoring might be at a premium, that's might be worth giving up the point for, but it's now 7-4 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Great heads-up play, though, by the defense. Out to the near side, going to be marked over the top by Carol Sequeira. Sequeira with the football now on the near side, sending this one down the line. Did go over and out for a free kick the other way. The scores yesterday, the Maidens were given pretty much everything they could handle, Mac, by the Seattle Grizzlies, 32-15, and then turned around and fell to the Freeze 21-8. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs were shut out by the Freeze 31-0, and then in a very tight contest that they led for most of the way, they ended up falling to the Grizzlies 11-4. That game was 4-1 at one point before the Grizzlies came from behind and kicked a goal late in the game. Here's Leilani Cordoba being chased by Rita Hill. Hill bowled her over, and the umpire said she did so unfairly. Handball away. Finding that's Nikki Fury. Fury's going to send that one in, but the fire is put out by Hallie Kastanek. Up to the near side looking for Green. Green takes the mark in front of a late arriving Hildebrand.
It's a big switch and a dangerous position, so it's a good thing Janie's got good hands.
Here, taking this one is Emma Bangs. Bangs, the Pittsburgh, PA native, turns around. A lot of Pennsylvania people here across the different sides, besides yours truly, of course, as this one is sent in by Gaillard. But again, there's Kastanek, who is the Secretary of Defense on this occasion, as she bangs it out to the far side, as opposed to Drea Casillas, who was the Secretary of the League at one point. She is the Secretary of Defense. As the ball is up on the far side now. And the ball is taken down, and holding the ball is the call. Free kick for the Maidens.
One thing I think we're seeing this year across both the women's divisions is the teams are very evenly matched. Honestly, The scores are quite low.
Yeah, and that's, I feel like it's because the defensive skills are very good, and there's a ton of pressure being put on. That was a very difficult contest that Fury was able to get out, and then down goes another player as Allison Leonard is slow to get up, but she's okay, and she'll have a free kick. Captain of the national team, and again, a fine tournament from her for the USA Freedom in Toronto, as she helped lead the Freedom to a grand final berth against Ireland. And I'll tell you what, they played 75 minutes of football, Mac, and I don't know that anybody would have expected, coming into the tournament, that the Freedom would have at least drawn after 4 quarters mighty Ireland.
Yeah, no, that was a really fun game to watch. It was a fierce competition. The Irish are quick, good skills.
I was going to say, that had to be fun, especially your teammate Christine Flock, getting a chance to watch them and watch, Carol Sequeira, of course, and a number of other, of course, another former team of yours coaching this side is Katie Klatt. And, they miss Katie on the field, but it's great having her on the side because her experience of playing in Australia really kind of helps in spades.
Oh, yeah, she's got a lot of knowledge, and she's a great coach from what I hear, and they're doing real well, so congrats to Katie.
They absolutely are. As we take a look at the ball coming up on the far side now, we will check in just a moment, going around the grounds for Three Cuts Gin.
Looks like a bit of a penalty there. They moved the play up the field.
Yeah, it's a 50-meter penalty, and here is Allie Dykes sending this one down the line. Dykes also a national teamer. Going to get picked up out the back by Powell, sent forward by the Maidens, and waiting and looking like she was in center field was Rita Hill dropped one she could have taken. Big pressure put on from behind there by Maguione as the ball goes up on the far side now. Everybody going to try and extract it. Big tackle put in from behind by Kylie Hahn, who another player who played well in the ruck at the Transatlantic Cup with Cricket Temple. She won't need to play ruck, at least in a starting position, and the ball goes out of bounds. We're just checking in on the score from the other field. As the ball is up on the far side.
I'd definitely say that Janie Green's making an impact for the Bulldogs. She's all over the field.
She absolutely is, and the ball is now sent. Yeah, and you know what? She makes an impact. We said best and fairest winner in Division II a season ago. She's been New York's best player. Johnny Bowl, who hasn't been with the club the last couple of years, she really, between the two of them, they were a good 1-2 punch, and really gives the speed that that helps them succeed in a sense. I didn't mean to make it rhyme, but as the ball's up on the far side. For three cuts, Jen will tell you as this one has moved forward. Here's a chance. Fury, the bounce did her dirty, and gave a chance for Kastanek to run onto it. She was taken down. Bangs tried to get it out, but kicked it straight into Win, and the ball has gone out of bounds. It will be a boundary throw-in. For three cuts, Jen, it's Minnesota 2-3-15. Seattle no score with about a minute to go in the first half. So if these scores hold, it will be a three-way tie for the second spot, and it will come down to percentage. But there is still 20 minutes of football on either side. And I will tell you that thanks to Golden Gate's victory, they are in good shape. I think if Denver starts to run away with it, then the Maidens may start to sweat versus what's happening over. But also, that's a pretty substantial lead that Minnesota has. Again, 15-0, as that one is taken once again by Janie Green. Looking to scatter the Jets here. Plenty of options on the left side. That's where she decides to go. Looking for Lindsay Kastanek, who takes a nice mark over the late arriving Las Dawes. Little chip kick over the top. Looking for Rachel O'Brien. Sending back one from whence it came. Looking for, that was dangerous as she went for the ball, did Dykes. And for somebody who's coming off of an ACL injury from last year, which precluded her from playing in the Parallel Cup, she looks like she's okay, but that looked very awkward. Umpire tossed the ball right in front of our Gridiron Productions commentary position. Brian Barish alongside Mackenzie Adamo. Great to have your company as well, as Dawes is in there as well. Or check that's Vicky Powell, who went to play over in England for a time. Another ball up again. And again, it is Blockland going up this time against Kylie Hahn, as they have given Cricket Temple a spell. Handball out by Powell up to the far side. Cannot be much time left. Ball is kept in on the far side. Going to get picked up by Fury, and that will do it. Well, this is a little bit of a surprise so far, especially with the Maidens kicking with the wind at the end of 20 minutes on the Watch AFL scoreboard. It's the Denver Bulldogs with the help of the New York Magpies, 1-1-7. The Golden Gate Iron Maidens, the 7-time defending national champion Iron Maidens, 4 behinds only. What did you think of that first half?
It was a bit of a slow start, but they started making better connections, moving the ball up the field really nicely. Some quick decisions, I think, on Denver's part really helped them get that goal secured.
Yeah, it really did. And I think that's the thing with Denver. They're playing, they haven't had as many chances, but, it's 4 scoring shots to 2, but they have one. They have the one goal, and that's been the difference in this game so far. Again, the situation, Golden Gate, if they win, and again at halftime behind us, it's Minnesota leading Seattle 15-0. If Golden Gate can take the lead and that result holds, they have nothing to worry about. They're into the grand final. I think they're in pretty good shape, and we'll crunch the numbers in just a moment. But it looks like if they can keep Denver in their sights, they should be okay to make it to yet another grand final.
Yeah, they got to come out strong on the second half. They're coming in with the lower score, and they really got to put the power behind those heels and
we're going to step
some shots.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. We're going to step aside and come right back for the second half of this one. You're watching the 2024 USAFL National Championships presented by Tasmanian here on USAFL.com.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the spirit of Australia. The Australian Consulate General, Houston. Three Cuts Gin. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. And by USAFL Foundation. Play on.
Back here at the Indian Creek Soccer Complex in Austin, Texas. Thanks to Visit Austin, the 2024 USAFL National Championships presented by Tasmanian. Brian Barish alongside Macadamo. At halftime, the Denver Bulldogs lead the Golden Gate Iron Maidens 7-4. And based on the results, Mac, where we're sitting right now, it would be a three-way tie at 1 and 2 for second place. But the Maidens are in good shape right now. As long as they can keep, they would love to win this and salt away any sort of doubt. But as long as they keep it close against the Maidens, they'll be kicking against the wind. It will be a difficult ask. They should be on through to the grand final.
Right.
All right, and we're underway once again here in this second half. Again, the Maidens in the white jumpers with the Pride Rainbow heading from right to left, heading towards Tournament Central, and they are kicking towards the Christopher Cross side that is kicking against the wind. Whereas, no, that's the Bob Seeger side is against the wind. Christopher Cross is with the wind, heading to the right side. That's the Onion Creek end. That is where the Bulldogs are kicking. Big tackle put in there. There is Dykes, who is taken down by Doherty, but it's won by Allison Leonard. She kicks the ball up forward. And the ball gets knocked down, going to get picked up once again as Leonard was either trying to go back to go forward or forgot that they switched ends. This one is kicked back the other way. Through the hands there of Linda Ravano and then turned around going back the other way.
Always dangerous to do the backwards kick unless you're certain someone's going to catch it.
Hannah Dawes sends it forward. Going to get picked up. Here's Leilani Cordoba. And the Maidens finally have their first, and they have the lead. They get a 1-4-10. They're up by 3, 1-1-7 for the Maidens, for the Bulldogs. Good awareness, a good job, firstly by Hannah Dawes, then by Linda Ravano to be able to go body to body against Kastanek, but most importantly, reading the play was Cordoba, who ran on.
Yep. breadcrumbed it and ran it right through.
Another former teammate of yours, because she began her career with the Sacramento Suns. She's played for Sacramento, Boston, Los Angeles, and Denver as well. She played on this field. The last time she played on this field was in the 2021 Grand Final, where Denver lost to Golden Gate. Remember, of course, the Iron Maidens, the 7-time defending national champions, playing a team that has won six in a row immediately before that, as the ball bounces away. And going to pick that one up and turning around again is Cordoba into a yawning goal square. Again, that's Ravano, but there is Rita Hill, who turns and bangs it up the far side. Nice sliding mark coming out of your picture. And again, that's Janie Green. Green will send this one down the line. Nice mark over the top by Leo Gaillard. Gaillard played for Team Canada at the Transatlantic Cup. We'll look to put the ball inboard once again. Going to get picked up. Going back the other way is Green, who goes forward. Big booming kick back the other way. Who wants it? Everybody. Who's got it? Dawes knocks it forward. That's Laws Dawes. As the ball gets sent forward again by Sequeira. Going to get it, but then running in, and it was almost like Katamari Damacy. Coming through was Hallie Kastanek, and she attracted two maidens, and one of them looks like she hit her head, and I think that might be Leo Gaillard. In fact, it is. She is slow to get up, and she's coming off the ground, or she will be in just a moment, and that was just one of those where everybody was going after the football, and just holding the ball out, waiting for her, and you see Hallie Kastanek remonstrating with the umpire a little bit. Just nothing major, just a little light conversation. As Gaillard sends this one forward, over the top now, going to roll and skip and hop. Going to go, and a free kick was paid out behind the play. The Maidens, again, as we said, even though they're against the wind, they are very known. We saw this in the grand final last year, Mac, especially, they were against the wind against Minnesota that time. They are good at lifting when they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. They're already coming out much hotter than the first half.
So free kick will go to Magallon, who has spent a lot of her time practicing down in Chattanooga. The Rome Redbacks got under this ball a little bit. It's going to tail to the right, but it does make the distance, just not the accuracy. Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 1-5-11, 1-1-7 for Denver. Brian Barish and Mackenzie Adamo, glad to have your company as well wherever you're joining us, thanks to Glitter Iron Productions here on USAFL.com. And thanks to some of our sponsors, including, of course, Cooper's, Tasmanian, Cybersource IQ. Mentioned some of our apparel folks like Play Aussie USA and Aussie Sports USA. As the ball comes into the middle of the ground, ball gets free. Here's Doherty off of one step and off the hands, one-on-one contest. That's Silvio going up against Hallie Kastanek. Kastanek gets the ball up on the far side, and it is marked. Marked by Janie Green, who says, we're going to take our time, go down the field. Green boots the ball down the line. Good contest there between Lindsay Kastanek. I was right the first time, and by the number 3 in there which was Karina Boyle. Ball goes out of bounds. Golden Gate. We mentioned the Gaelic influence here, and we mentioned the fact that both these teams have players, and really it does cut well, not just normally, but also in this competition. Here's Nikki Fury, who sends this one in just through the fingertips of Hill, who finds Hallie Kastanek up the far side, and the mark is taken by Kylie Hahn. And the umpire, they said nope, they didn't rule that she played. That they ruled that she didn't play on.
Yeah, they blew the whistle a little late on that one, but still paid the kick.
I think so too. As Boyle got up high and got loose and slapped the ball forward, goes out into the far side. And the ball is kept in play as this one comes into the middle of the ground. It is off the chest of Allison Leonard, but she picks it up. The Seattle native stabs this one forward. Denver trying to regain the lead here. Big shove in there big shove in a little high by Kate Masher in on Vicky Powell, and she definitely ended up second best. We're keeping an eye on her, and I think both of them were just kind of coming together, and Masher had her hands up to kind of brace herself for the impact, and Powell, I think, caught Powell like right in the collarbone. That had to be painful. Meanwhile, this is Fury who sends this one in as the ball goes down, a whistle downfield in the contest, and it's given away by Cordoba to Rita Hill. Hill has Kastanek as an option, chips over the top, picked off by Nikki Fury, and here comes Nikki Fury, has a left-footed kick through the wind. That one will go through. Did it make it all the way? It did. Nikki Fury with a big, big goal to give her team a little bit of separation on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 2-5-17. It's out to a 10-point lead, 1-1-7 for Denver, and now we're starting to see the class of Golden Gate come to the fore a little bit. Fury with a good job of reading the play and kicking the goal.
Absolutely. Coming from behind, trailing at the start of the half, and 3 goals down now. We're seeing the play pick up a bit.
As the ball will come back in the middle of the ground once again, and we will check in very quickly in just a moment here, thanks to Cyber Source IQ this time around. The score behind us. Come on now. So we can get YouTube to work. Minnesota has expanded their lead. They now lead 27-6. So it is looking very much like a Minnesota Golden Gate Grand Final for the 3rd year in a row, barring something astronomical happening over on the other field, and really on this field as well. As the ball gets knocked down, the only way that Seattle could have outright, well, here is Janie Green. We'll finish this first. Gets away from Doherty, but didn't get away from Warren Dawes. But the ball got dropped and went out of bounds first. The only way that Golden Gate really could have been outright knocked out, and not through percentage, was if they were to have lost and Seattle won, and neither result appears at the moment. I would say Seattle almost looks pretty like a bridge too far at this point.
Yeah,
but really, like you said, not to interrupt, like you said, it's been really evenly matched, I think.
Yeah, like I said, scores have been low all around for the women's division.
Ball's up on the far side now as it comes into the middle of the ground. I'll tell you what, though, both teams have suffered injuries. It is not only that, but the weather is getting warmer. It is 79 degrees out right now. We said that the temperature will be rising about 4 degrees an hour. And by 1 or 2 o'clock, by the time it's grand final time, will probably be the hottest of the day. Almost taking the mark was Cricket Temple from Schenectady, New York originally. Hahn is able to get this one out to Leonard. Leonard pounds it forward over the top. My water bottle was making some jug handle noises. Sort of that, hoo, hoo. And the ball's up on the far side. Here comes Cordoba. And here comes Ravano, I believe. Wasn't the best of kicks. I don't know if it was Ravano, so I don't want to pin that on her. A little bit of a scoop ball finding Allie Dykes. And here comes Kylie Hahn. Hahn sends this one down over the top, looking for Lindsay Kastanek. It's her versus Mashakis and also Warren Dawes. There's Masher in there as well. Masher will go down, and she will hold up the ball. Caitlin Masher, we keep saying she's probably one of the most interesting people in this entire league. She is a ordained Buddhist priest. She was a nationally ranked sumo wrestler. Her and her wife Karen homebrew their own sake and beer. She is just, and also a really good person as well. And she also is a Twitch streamer. She does it all.
Quite the variety.
She really does. As the ball is up on the far side. And getting ready to go.
I feel like we're seeing a bit more scrambling to the ball, a little bit more anxious play.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. The thing is that Golden Gate, with a win, and especially combined with the result, it's going to be an outright. You don't have to worry about percentage, but I think even if they had to, the results yesterday have put them in such a really good position to where all they have to do is if it's a even if it's a close game, they're okay. As the ball comes downfield now,
So even if Denver wins, they'd have to run away with it.
Yeah, they would have to probably win by about 7 or 8 goals at least.
Yeah.
And the one thing to remember is you see unofficially about 8.5 minutes to go in the game. There's no time on. So every time there's a goal, that's 30 seconds off the clock. So I would say, they would have to do all of this in about 4 minutes, which, as good as Denver and New York have played together, I think that might be a pretty steep task.
Yep.
But that's why they play the games and not just talk about them. Ball will be kicked in after going out on the full. Drops in front. Bangs was pushed. No call. That's okay. The umpires are closer to us. They can't see as. Sometimes they miss one, but that's okay. I have so many misses, it's a drinking game.
Umpiring's a hard task.
It is. I'm talking in general. I'm not talking about the folks here, but I feel like doing a drinking game with umpires is probably a terrible idea.
I agree.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about referees, officials, anybody. I'm not saying that they're wrong or anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of subjects you can do that. But if somebody offered me something like that, I would say I choose life.
Yeah. It's up for interpretation, right?
Yes. Ball will come back in the play, knocked forward again. And our umpires, we've talked about them all weekend. They are absolutely fantastic. We have Matty Nichols from the AFL, 406 AFL games umpired by him. He's still going strong. He's umpired a couple of grand finals, and he also, according to Brian Taylor, is the best bouncer in the AFL, and he was demonstrating some of that at the umpiring clinic on Friday, which was pretty
Bouncer
neat.
as in wiki music? Or like bouncing the ball?
Yes, bouncing the ball.
Got it.
Yes. Although I will have to tell him that he might be the best
bouncer
in wiki.
club?
I like that. Wiki. Anyway, I don't know why I thought that was so amusing, but that's okay. I've been sitting here. This is my 11th game this weekend, so it's like, or is it 10? No, it's 11. We're up to 11, and I've got 3 or 4 more to go.
6 minutes.
Yep.
6 minutes. 6 minutes.
Ball
9
comes
seconds.
up on the far side. We have about 6 minutes, of course. As the ball comes out now, going to get picked up and dribbles out one along was Hildenbrand. As good pressure put on there by Bangs once again. And
Carolyn taking the lead here.
Here's Carol Sequeira going after it against Hill. Hill picked it up and 2 Freedom teammates, one tackling the other. As the ball goes free, and we have a whistle. Free kick upcoming. Umpire Darren Henderson from the Arizona Hawks making the call. We'll have a ball up. This one is played out. And the mark is taken by O'Brien. Rachel O'Brien sends the ball down the line. Queen Bowls, Vicky Powell. Good to see her back in after getting an elbow to the clavicle. Sent into the middle of the ground. Going to get picked up on a hop and sent back from whence it came by the Doggies. Marks it in the middle of the ground where it's taken by Amy Woolmer, one of the Aussies for the Magpies, as this one is sent in. Going in there is Green. Green after she was taken down by Hillenbrand, but there was Martin who was able to clear that out to the near side. It'll get picked up almost on a hop by Chelsea Blockland. In is the other number 20 there, or check that was Ravano again, or Boyle. Boyle takes this one up high as she sends this one down. 1-on-1 contest out the back. Going after the chase, that one is Dawes. Hannah Dawes picks it up. Handballs up over the top. But it is a free kick.
It's like they're calling it a throw, maybe?
What's that? Yeah, she got called for a throw. It was an improper handball. And here is Allie Dykes. Allie, I don't know if you knew this. She was in the Peace Corps in the Gambia for 2 years.
I didn't know that.
She did she's another one. Lot of just a really good heart and a lot of passion for this game. Had a great tournament as this one skips on through.
Great mark
and
there.
A great mark in front. And here again is Janie Green, who can put her team within a half a goal. The wind starts to whip up a little bit. Green's kick is on the way. It is dead center. Perfect goal to the Denver Bulldogs. Game on.
About 3.5 minutes left.
And now, still plenty of time for anything to happen. Watch AFL's scoreboard. Golden Gate 2-5-17, Denver 2-1-13. 4 points the difference. If Golden Gate, even though they'll make it to the grand final, I think it would be the first time, and I'm going off of memory here, I want to say it would be the first time since 2012 or 2013 that they would have gone through nationals without a winning record. They finished at 2-2 the year before this year ran in 2015, and finished in, I believe it was third. No, they finished in fourth that year. Yeah, they finished in fourth place that year, but they will make it to the. I mean, it looks like they are going to make it to the grand final as we've been checking the result, the score behind us. But they are still ahead by 4 as the ball comes down and the wind whips up a little bit more. Here again is Green. Green kicks this one inside the 50-meter arc. Going after to get it is Martin as she goes up against Caitlin Masher-Mace. And we'll have a boundary throw in. And she's also a paramedic. That's the other thing that she's good about her. She has a lot of interest in the medical field as the ball gets knocked down. Knocking on heaven's door. Here is McCaskill for the Bulldogs, one of the New York players. And we have a whistle, and it'll be a free kick, and it will go the way of the Bulldogs. And it's Janie Green. Green with a chance to put her team in the lead with about less than 2 minutes to go unofficially. Green's kick is on the way, cuts through. Is it there? It is. Yes, sir. And the Bulldogs have the lead.
Big celebration happening across the field.
A huge celebration. And that will be, if they hold on, then it will be the Bulldogs' first victory over the Maidens since that last game in 2015.
We are always looking for a big upset here, Brian.
Absolutely.
It keeps things interesting.
And if this result holds, and we'll take a quick look at the, I've lost my phone,
the other game.
But we'll take a quick look as we go back in the middle of the ground. We'll update the score on the other field.
Got about a minute left here.
34-12, Minnesota the lead. So it looks very much like, in spite of everything, it's going to be a three-way tie where the Bulldogs, the Iron Maidens, and the Grizzlies are all going to finish at 1 and 2, but the Maidens look really good on percentage right now.
They'll still pull through to the finals.
They still will pull through to the finals, but if you're Minnesota and you're looking at this result, you have to have some level of confidence. Of course, remembering what happened last year where they looked like they were in good shape, even going into the second half, going with the wind, and the Iron Maidens came from behind. But that is a ball up on the far side. It is still in play. Not much time to go, and the ball is held in there by Darren Henderson.
Everybody is at the ball.
Everybody. There's maybe 30 players around the football right now. In addition to all the players near the tents. Little handball back. Big kick forward, and that will do it. And the Denver Bulldogs, combined with the New York Magpies, have upset the 7-time national champion Golden Gate Iron Maidens to finish round robin play. The final score, it's the Denver Bulldogs 3-1-19, the Golden Gate Iron Maidens 2-5-17. What a great win. I think the difference was Janie Green.
Absolutely, 100%.
She kicked the 2 goals at the end of the game to win it, and that very much, I think, turned the tide in favor of the Bulldogs. Now we're going to check here, and I'm going to back up my scores here so that we can figure this out properly. And you'll forgive our indulgence if we're doing this a little bit on horseback. So Golden Gate scored 17 points and allowed 19. So they are slightly over 100%. So 19-17. So Denver is not, unfortunately, not in the conversation. And Seattle, what did we say? The score was 34-12. I don't know that I would have needed a calculator because it looks pretty comfortable that unless and we're looking to see how much time is left in that Seattle game. There's less than 3 minutes. I think we can say safely that it will once again will once again be a Minnesota Golden Gate final. But the difference here, Mac, unlike in previous years, a couple of years ago, Golden Gate went through undefeated. They were 2-1 last year. Their only loss was to Minnesota. In both of those cases, they won. They come into this final, and that, I believe, is the horn over there, so it is official. They come into this grand final 1-2. Can they do it against a very motivated Minnesota team?
Minnesota has been strong all weekend. They're very cohesive. Honestly, both teams are very cohesive. They play together. They play in the offseason together. They play Gaelic together. They gym together. It's going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, and as I said in the preview, you take them for granted at your own peril. In those 3 years, those first 3 years where they won national championships, they came second to various teams in the Western Regionals. 2016, 2017, 2018, but they would come on the Nationals and they would do the deed. We'll find out what will happen at 3 o'clock. We're calling it now. It'll be the Golden Gate Iron Maidens against the Minnesota Freeze for the 3rd year in a row for the Women's Division I National Championship.
A few short hours. Tune in. It's going to be a good
Exactly. Macadamo, thank you so much as always. Always a pleasure to get and call for the footy with you.
It's always fun.
It is always the case. Well, we've got more action here, and in fact, we've got, what do we have here? We've got Division 1 action, and we'll tell you the matches in just a moment. But action happening across all the fields as we continue here. The Cooper's Beer Tent will be opening shortly, and we will tell you that here on coming up at 11 o'clock, it'll be the LA Dragons and the Philadelphia Hawks in Division 3. Austin and Calgary on Field 2. That will be behind us and streamed. It'll be the Des Moines Roosters and the Portland Sockeyes playing at 11 o'clock over on Field 3. St. Louis and North Texas over on Field 4. Those are both Division 4 games. And then the Division 5 semifinal between New York/Wasatch and Houston. We'll be right back for Philadelphia and Los Angeles. You're watching the 2024 USAFL National Championships here on USAFL.com.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the spirit of Australia. The Australian Consulate General, Houston. Three Cuts Gin. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. And by USAFL Foundation. Play on.